Yeah, I agree, man. It's mind blowing when you think about it. Tupac being shot after a Tyson fight. But out of curiosity, right? How was it like being at a Tyson fight back in the 90s?
It was man, it was a show. It was a spectacle. But whenever Mike Tyson had a fight, that was like it was a big night. I always like to say it's kind of like, well, amongst other things, it's like the Super Bowl of pimp and hoe night. Everybody's coming down there, everybody's showcasing what they have. Um, you get, Vegas is only a 4 hour drive from LA, so you get a lot of people in from LA and a lot of gangsters in town. It can be a rough night. So it's kind of funny because things happen before the fight. You get a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but everybody's waiting for, the nighttime for things to really happen. So while Tyson is fighting, like during the Tyson's fight, the world stops. Nobody's doing anything but watching the fight. So it's like there's nothing going on. There's nobody on the street. There's zero happening. And then, of course, as soon as the fights would end, then all hell breaks loose and on the strip, and you got all kinds of nonsense going on. And there would be like nowadays you get a little bit of that, like with Mayweather fights and stuff, but it was nothing like back in the days, like when Mike was fighting. It hasn't really happened before or since. Nobody had those type of nights like Mike did. It was a huge deal. So it was, things were already like there was I guess you could say there was almost trouble in the air. You could go around looking up and down the streets, and it's just like, oh man, there's going to be some things happening tonight, for sure. And then, of course, uh, the whole Tupac incident happens that evening about at 11 something, which is like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours after the fight is over. So, uh, yeah, so it's kind of a different sort of it was a different sort of a scene back when Mike was fighting.
Right, right. But speaking of Vegas, right, it was a documentary that came out some years ago called Who Killed Tupac and Biggie. And you was in that documentary. But it was a guy in that documentary called Eric B, right? And he made a comment saying that when Tupac got shot in Vegas, when he went to the hospital, he was speaking to the doctor and he told the doctor that he was gonna live.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, impossible. Well, first of all, he's unconscious and he's also intubated. He's got tubes going down his throat. He's not talking as he's going into the ER in Vegas. No way.
Get to the hospital, never forget. Tupac tells the doctor, Doc, I'm not leaving here. Just let me die. And the doctor told me, he said, Mr. Shakur, let me say something to you. He said, I'm a doctor. He said, you're not gonna die on my watch. And Tupac told him, Doc, I'm not leaving this hospital. I know I'm not gonna leave. I'm sitting up there, why would he say something like that? Because the kid is a fighter.
Wow. So he was lying then. So Tupac wasn't talking at no point.
No, no, because he never regained consciousness, and with those tubes down your throat, even if you're healthy, you can't talk. Um, so there's just no talking going on there. I mean, there's probably some unpleasant noises, maybe groaning, gurgling, things like that. But as far as spoken words, no.